New York Broadway. Toy Center Building, where American toy companies gather. Nintendo of America was established on the 14th floor of this building in the 55th year of the Showa era. A small office of 140 square meters. The person put in charge here was President Yamauchi's son-in-law, Minoru Arakawa. Mr. Arakawa studied civil engineering at MIT, and afterward, he worked for a major trading company handling hotel construction overseas.
First, we hired a babysitter. For the children, and then left the children with them. And with my wife, we came to the company where my wife acted as a secretary. That's right. So, well, secretary. So, we helped, but I don't know if it was useful or not, since we didn't have the money to hire anyone.
From the start, Nintendo of America stumbled. Mr. Arakawa anticipated good sales, but 2,000 arcade game machines imported from Nintendo in Japan remained unsold.
Well, arcade games are big in color, you know. Those 2,000 machines take up most of the warehouse. Just looking at them, it gets really overwhelming. Eventually in Japan, somehow by creating a new game, couldn't we make it into a new game by just swapping out parts like the ROM or changing the circuit board?
This is an arcade game board. They asked to develop a new game, exchanged the ROM containing the game's program, and sold it. If it's just a ROM exchange, the additional cost is minimal. This was a desperate measure thought up by Mr. Arakawa. The Nintendo headquarters in Kyoto mostly ignored Mr. Arakawa's requests, citing being busy with domestic business. In the end, the person tasked with this job was Shigeru Miyamoto, who was responsible for toy design and hardware design of game machines. He was a 28-year-old industrial designer at the time.
There's no process, really. I somehow got the idea, but I think a protagonist like this would be good. What that is, well, empty. It's decided that he won't be the cool type like Superman. As for what kind of face is good, since it's drawn in a small box in a video game, it's better if it's a face that you can easily recognize even when drawn small. To exaggerate, we made the nose big, added a mustache, and put on a hat. Moreover, since the hair moving around is too small to draw, we cover it with a hat to disguise it. And why does he strive to go up? This is because his beloved girlfriend is there. As for the enemy, we don't want something too ferocious. So we decided to put someone more like a rival. Yeah, but like if you're going to carry a girl under your arm while escaping, it would be better with a gorilla. That kind of scenario, right? Yeah. When was the first decision made? From above, like a diagonal slope or incline like this. They continue. And on top of that, beer barrels come rolling down. The game where the protagonist skillfully dodges the rolling beer barrels while climbing up seemed interesting.
Mr. Miyamoto took his work home after working hours. A game where the player can become the story's protagonist. He kept refining this idea day and night. And 3 months later, Donkey Kong was completed. It was Japanese-made English meaning foolish gorilla. The diagonal slope became red steel beams. The gorilla rolls barrels to obstruct. The protagonist avoids them while climbing up. The gorilla escapes upward with his beloved girlfriend under his arm, and the protagonist chases after them. The game progresses like a story, making your heart race as if you are the protagonist. In an era with many war and shooting games, it was a revolutionary game.
In the end, Donkey Kong sold 60,000 units, and together with its sequel, Donkey Kong Jr., it sold 120,000 units.
Donkey Kong, the clumsy gorilla that saved Mr. Shinkawa, who jumped into the game business after leaving a major trading company from the edge of a cliff.